Sports Show, August 23rd, 2015. Mike, Max, Patrick, Royce, Lou Nanny, and the one and only Sid Hartman.
Give me that one and only business. You're the one and
What's
only.
wrong? Try to give a guy a compliment.
You're on PCO. You're on TV. You're on everything.
But I do not have the international scope that you do. Today you had Tom Friedman on. I turned on the radio to listen. I heard Sid. I'm kidding you, I never thought I'd hear this. But you said, "What's going on with that Iran deal?" What was that all about? I turned in to listen to sports. You got Tom Friedman on.
I'm completely stupid. I'm 50% stupid.
Yeah.
Well, we got a ton of reaction to it, to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sid's very worried about nuclear proliferation.
Yeah, but look at it this way, man. If it comes, you had a good run.
Yes.
You know, if it happens, man.
You guys know.
Hey, how about the?
You know all the answers.
Yeah, we do. The Vikings last night. You were there.
I didn't think they looked very good. I thought that they slid back from the first two games. I thought that Oakland gave them a pretty good battle. And I don't know. We'll see what happens this week. They play at Dallas. That'll be a real test. We'll find out. Dallas tries to win every preseason game.
They do?
That's Jerry Jones's theory. So, and they have 80,000 people there. We'll see how well they do this week.
Does preseason really mean anything, though, Patrick? As long as you don't get hurt.
The Vikings are 7-0 with Zimmer, but yeah, nobody got hurt. And I would think after Jordy Nelson blows her out today against the Vikings, and for the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers, his post-game press conference, used the word meaningless about 12 times to describe exhibition football. You know, it used to be the third exhibition game is where they played guys.
Yeah.
I bet you everybody cuts back on the number of guys they actually play. Even in the third game, I bet you don't see that many Viking regulars after the middle of the second quarter.
That's why you don't know if the Vikings slid back or not last night. When you don't play the first teamers, it's hard to
what would you do
really
as a general
determine.
manager, Louis, in terms of preseason? I know hockey's a little bit different. It's not the same risk of injury, but you got to consider the same. What would you do? Would you play stars or not?
I wouldn't. Not the way things are going today. If you saw Jordy Nelson, there was nobody around him. He just turned quick. Maybe it was a carpet,
Blew
whatever.
out the knee.
Just,
They will not
ACL
cut
gone.
back on this game. They got 2 games left. They'll cut back on the last game. But he'll play, see what they can do against Dallas, because Dallas will play a good share of their players.
Well, Peterson doesn't play.
Huh?
Yeah.
Peterson doesn't play.
I bet Bridgewater doesn't see
Peterson
that.
doesn't play.
I bet Bridgewater
No.
doesn't see the
So
end of the first half.
if you realize that Peterson shouldn't be playing, then you better look at your best players, whoever they are, and not play them.
So where's
If
the
it's good
rubber
enough
meet
for
the road
Peterson,
with the
don't play
fans?
other.
If you
Well,
gentlemen,
that surprises me that
if
that somehow they were able to keep getting the dollars they get for the preseason
if you
games.
gentlemen by any chance read the story in ESPN magazine about the party Mr. Peterson put on, cost $2.5 million to celebrate his birthday, brought in a camel. He was riding a camel.
I'm now convinced, I read the story, and I'm now convinced more than ever that he's a complete idiot.
Okay, but tell me, Patrick, you know, sometimes the difference between being it's what you think is normal and it's not, and do you think he makes conscious decisions to do dumb things, or do you think
I
he
thought
just
the
doesn't know?
takeaway from that party is that, no, deep in his heart, he doesn't really have any contrition about what he did to that 4-year-old kid. That's my takeaway from that.
He had
After you
one
read the article.
Viking there, the quarterback. That's the only one they had there. But I read that story last night. I couldn't believe how anybody in their right mind would throw a party like that.
And not invite you.
Flew
Yeah,
in-
really?
Were you
Flew
there?
in 300 people
I've thrown
first
some
class.
pretty good party. You've been in some pretty good
No,
parties.
I said, why didn't you?
At my house.
Why didn't you go at Peterson's?
Why did I go to Peterson? I wasn't invited,
Sid coming-
and I was invited. I wouldn't come.
Sid coming in on an elephant would have been kind of fun.
Yeah.
Louis, what do you think when you see stuff like that?
I think it's irrational, irresponsible, no value for money. And I wish you would have given me the $2.5 million. Minnesota, we could have put it to better use.
Yeah,
you
you
know-
could have named
You've been in some
you
pretty
could have
good
named a
parties in
locker
my
room
house.
for him at the
Yeah.
you could have named a locker room for him at the new football building.
Yeah, we We got to name something for
They
them.
say you can't legislate against stupidity. What can you tell players?
Well, you could tell them what I tell
They do
players.
tell 'em.
What
They
I
do
used
tell
to
'em
tell
not to
players, you want to know the phrase I used to tell players, and I still tell
Can you
kids,
say it on
friends of
the
mine?
air?
Yeah, I say pay yourself first. In other words, when you get a check, make sure you put some money away for your savings, because that way you'll start building savings. If you don't pay yourself first, you might never pay yourself. This guy, maybe he's not paying himself first right now, but you could run out of money, and that's why a lot of them run out of money.
And
Why didn't you give that money to charity?
his
what I said.
need to be loved is amazing. That's another thing I take from that. His need to be loved and
Yeah, well, I think he
almost
just always has been.
Yeah.
Since he was in
But he needs it.
sophomore in high school or whatever, and he's so used to it, it becomes like a drug. What were you going to say, Sid?
He does something in Palestine, Palestine,
Texas.
Texas. Yeah, he does stuff for kids.
Every year he does something like that. But why didn't you give that money to charity? There's a lot of people in Texas who are poverty type that could have used that money rather than throw a party like that.
Why didn't he buy it with Louis? Why didn't he put it in the bank so he's not on some ESPN 30 for 30 10 years from now as one of those broke players?
Point though, I mean, and now the story is coming, and you just can't believe the amount of money professional athletes made that are broke.
Oh, you look.
Number one reason is what?
Well, they don't handle money properly. They just, I can tell you, a car transporter one time, when I was at my car transporter in Florida, he was telling me he just dropped off 2 Mercedes convertibles in Atlanta. He says, you did? For somebody from Minnesota? He says, yeah, Stefan Marbury. I don't know. You know, why do you need 2? And he had, a Range Rover too. You know, sometimes when you got a lot of money, you really think it's never going to, come to the end of it, and you start spending ridiculously, and
How about,
and pretty soon you're out of money. That's why 65%, what was it, basketball
Something like
players,
that, yeah.
after 5 years were bankrupt, they were saying?
yeah, I was just going to say that. How about all those guys with their agents who how about, we won't name the hockey player, but one of the best hockey players you had, played with Dallas, lost every nickel.
No, he didn't lose every nickel. Madonna, you're talking about. And fortunately, he didn't lose every nickel, but
And he
lost
played
a
long
lot
enough
of it.
to get it back.
Yeah, and he played 21 years, so you know he still had some money left. But too many of them, they really don't look after the money the way they should. And many times, some of them just have agents, and the agents aren't qualified to be financial planners or something, so they let them go with just people that are acquaintances and really don't care about their money as much, or really don't worry about it.
Scary
I think
stuff.
that's the biggest thing that I think today is wrong, is athletes don't have really good kind of counsel.
As far as exhibition football is concerned, they should play 2.
Yeah. Especially with all the
And
off-season
there's
practice.
stuff they talk about, well, the owners won't give up the money. Why not? They just all got a check for $226 million. They don't need the money. They can write off another 10, 15 million and not have those extra 2 exhibitions.
Just like we were talking here, they ain't got a brain in the head, most of those guys.
Yeah.
They go busted. I know 2, 3, 4 Vikings that don't have any money.
More than that. More than that, you know. Take a break, come back, stay with us.
Boys.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
You're watching CW-23.
Ram has the best towing, the best torque, the best payload, or the best fuel economy.
Baby, let's ride.
summer can be one wild ride. Hurry in for $1,000 bonus cash at the Ram Summer Clearance Event. Well-qualified lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2015 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $239 a month.
The wait is over. Hurry on in for the bold, juicy, and savory Subway sandwich. Introducing a masterpiece of awesome flavor. Our steak and cheese sandwich, now with our signature horseradish sauce. Tempt your taste buds with a generous layer of tasty lean steak, crisp vegetables, and rich slices of melted cheese. Then top it off with a can't-wait taste of our new bold horseradish sauce. The horseradish steak and cheese sandwich. Why wait any longer? Be bold. Subway. Eat fresh.
You could win big at CarHop's big summer celebration. If you have bad credit and need a car, CarHop can help with fast approval and super low down payments. And how's this for big? One lucky Twin Cities customer will win a car. Plus, you still get fast approval, a great warranty, and down payments as low as $99. Call, click, or come to CarHop's summer celebration, and you could win a car.
CarHop, cars and credit to go. Cars and credit to go.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second-to-none happy hour, and great outdoor dining, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington, locally owned, nationally known, Hoyt's.
J.D. Hoyt's, downtown Minneapolis. Stop on by, shop, steak, seafood, and much more on Washington in downtown Minneapolis. Before or after a game, J.D. Hoyt's, stop by and say hi to Pat and the whole gang there because they're waiting for you each and every night. Welcome back to the Sports Show. Mike Max, Lou Danny, and Sid Hartman. Patrick Royce out trying to get a scoop in the middle of the show. That's how committed he is to this. We hope you'll be able to rejoin us with some new information before this show is over. Stay with us to find out. The Gophers. We have not had Louis on since Norwood Teague resigned. What do you want to tell Louis about that situation?
First of all, we had a story in the Star Tribune today. It was completely inaccurate. When Chris Foles was an athletic director, the women actually had a big edge on the men. And
in terms of what?
In terms of everything.
I know what you're saying, but explain it to the public.
They got facilities, they got everything there was. Number two, Joe Maturi was the greatest women's athletic director in the country.
Well, he came in when they said that's your number one deal, is to meld those two.
Those two guys, Norwood Teague was maybe a different story, but our story said that it's been going on for years. It hasn't been going on for years.
No, it hasn't.
It's been going on just over Title IX.
Yeah.
Beyond Title IX.
Yeah.
Beyond what the demands of Title IX.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Louis?
What he's saying is the women were getting more than their fair share. And I really don't look at it getting more than their fair share, but the women, even now, I don't think get less than the men.
No.
Now, when I say less, I'm not talking about having 85 scholarship athletes in football and how many do you have on track and field. But the fact is, if you want 25 programs to succeed, football and basketball have got to be your breadwinners, and they got to bring a lot of revenue, or you won't have 25 sports. We had a campaign to save, remember, the golf and the gymnastics years ago, because many schools, in not only in the Big Ten around the country, have cut athletics because they couldn't afford to pay for 25 teams. University of Minnesota, as long as I've been around there, has always made allowances to make certain they can support them all. And when they get these gender discrimination suits, they drive me crazy. Because the thing is, you can have a suit, as you know, in this day and age, and not be guilty, but rather than go through a protracted, conflict, you settle it because it's going to be cheaper.
If it wasn't for outside support, he was one of the guys, Tom Lehman, there was a time 5, 6, 7, I don't know how long ago, where they're going to cut out golf, they're going to cut out several sports. And you'd have the same situation at every school in the country. If they didn't have support for the women's sports from the outside, it just, I'm in the minority maybe, but I don't think you should have to count 125 women to match football.
You're right.
Football pays for the program.
And I tell you something else.
Basketball pays for the program.
You can be a great boys soccer player, and you can't go to the University of Minnesota and play soccer. There's no soccer team. You can be a great lacrosse player, which is the popular sport. There's no lacrosse team. So this thing is, I mean, in all due respect, the men and the boys are getting the short end of a lot of this stuff.
Well, it's not the short end because they're still getting the same amount of scholarships, but the opportunities are not the same because you don't have the funds to pay for all the sports. If you want to maintain a full program, you're going to have to really be successful in football and basketball to generate enough revenues for all these other sports. And because you have to count athlete for athlete, and you have to have a lot of people on the track and field, in rowing for the women, then you can't have a soccer team and a lacrosse team. The numbers would be out of balance.
Where does the extra television money come from? It don't come from one women's sport. It comes from football, it comes from basketball, and it comes from hockey. $32 million the University of Minnesota got this year because of TV of men's sports.
Okay. Norwood Teague, you haven't had a chance to tell Louis if you thought it was a good idea or a bad idea they let him go.
Here's the thing with Norwood Teague. I don't know how Norwood Teague might have had some problem with women from a standpoint. I don't think Norwood Teague killed the women's program.
There's a difference here. Those are two different issues.
Yeah. No, he was, in fact, I was just with Beth Getz 3 days ago, and she said the same thing. Norwood was just as fair to the women as to the men. There was no problem there. This was a sexual harassment problem, and somehow they brought alcohol into it, and then you get all these crazy, investigations into going up and how much did they spend on alcohol. Well, when you're raising $70 million, you're going to entertain donors, and some of them are going to have a beer or a drink or a glass of wine and something, and you will spend some money. But it wasn't an alcohol case, and the investigation surrounding this whole deal was way off target because it was sexual harassment, and that's what it was. That's what happened, and they should have been, focused all on sexual harassment because it was really inappropriate what he has done, and he's lost his job because of it.
Yeah, and you said
I was in the company of a Southeast Conference athletic director with Bob Knight a few years ago, and he predicted that some of the Southeast Conference schools will go busted on kind of Title IX.
Nope.
They can't take in enough money to do it.
Okay, well, those are kind of two different topics, yeah.
Well, they won't go busted because
no, they're not going to go busted.
Their program will either go out or it's going to have to be equal, and so they'll just have to cut the number of sports until you got equality, where they can sustain the sports they want to keep. And you might not have 20.
Or they'll cut scholarships to football.
Exactly.
They'll say you get 60 instead of whatever,
exactly.
Right? Take a break, come back. You're watching The Sports Show.
Ever wonder, why do I hear but not understand? Scientists at Cambridge University discovered the answer. Inside your cochlea, there are thousands of tiny hearing hair cells. Poor hearing occurs when regions of these hair cells die. Amplifying a dead region with hearing aids makes you hear worse, not better. The result of this study is a hearing clarity breakthrough. Using standard test equipment, dead regions of your cochlea are identified. Then, a new type of frequency-shaping hearing aid is programmed to bypass the dead regions. Only your usable hearing hair cells receive amplification. Brilliant. A local study is underway. 100 citizens with hearing problems are needed to receive this testing and then wear the tiny device for 10 days, recording your results. Call now to see if you qualify. Volunteers may keep the product at a special discount if they desire. Don't miss this opportunity. Call now.
Thanks for watching CW-23.
Hi, I'm John Hines. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World is the place you should come for car washes, oil changes, tires. As a matter of fact, anything and everything under the hood of your car. You're in great hands at Bobby and Steve's Auto World, where serving people is the most important part of their business.
Schedule an appointment online for your spring car care special. Get an oil change, car wash, tire rotation, and $5 on your World Rewards card for only $39.95. While there, visit our convenience store or enjoy something from our Chevy grill.
Welcome back to the sports show. Moving on down to the Twins. Can you figure out the Twins, Sid Hartman?
It's hard to figure out their inconsistency. Although Baltimore is not having a very good year. They won the division last year, and they got most of the players back. I can't understand what happened at Baltimore Club. But all of a sudden, at Sonnet, I never can pronounce the name.
No, this is the fun part. Who is it you're trying to say?
Sinai.
Sinai. Who?
How do you pronounce his name?
I don't know which one you're talking about.
You know what
Miguel Sano.
Sano is unbelievable.
I can't believe this, what he's doing. Today again. Two-run home run in the first inning today.
I can't ever remember even Kirby Puckett coming up, never hit a home runs like this guy hits. When he hits a home run, it's out of the ballpark. And,
well, it should be.
And they do have some pretty good young players. Eddie R's pretty good.
Rosario.
Yeah. Sane. Baxton.
Not bad, yeah.
Got a big hit. It looks like they do have some young players in the minor leagues. Maybe they're a year away from being a real contender.
Yeah, explain Miguel Sano. How can a guy be better in the big leagues than he is in the minor leagues?
I don't know, but he's impressive. It's fun to watch. What really surprises me, when I drive with sunglasses on, I can't see very well. If I'm trying to see in the distance or read signs, you know, I don't see as well as without sunglasses. And these guys go up to bat with sunglasses. Yeah. And, you know, you're supposed to want to see that pitch and actually...
I know, I think that's his seams.
The laces move the seams. How do they see with sunglasses?
Pretty well,
boy,
I guess.
Does he look good. I'm just sitting there wondering how good is this guy going to be, because as Sid says, when he hits the ball, I mean, there's no doubt about where... You know, it's going out of the park.
How do you manage a guy that comes up and is off the charts like that from in the organization to make sure that he stays on course and that he, you know, maximizes what he's got?
Well, it's I'm sure that
because everybody wants to interview him now.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're handling him the way they should be handling rookies. They're letting him feel the freedom of how he expresses himself on the field, but talking to him, making certain he doesn't get caught up in too many extracurricular activities or appearances and interviews and stuff like that. Just feeding him a little at a time and make certain that he's, you know, just really understanding what he's going through right now, because too many people, they might come up and they have a good year and they think it's always going to be good, and then we all are the sophomore slump. So
what amazes me is he's doing much better than he did at Chattanooga. Now next year, with Hicks in left field, Baxton in center field, and
Eddie R again?
Huh?
Eddie R?
Yeah, in right field. That'd be pretty good.
So you saying Torrey Hunter won't come back?
Huh?
You saying Torrey Hunter won't come back?
I don't think they'll bring him back and pay him $10 million. The big thing will depend on what competition there is for his services. If there's not competition for his services, he wants to play. So he'll take a cut and play another year.
What would you do there, Louis? Does it all depend on how he finishes or what?
Well, I don't think there's any question I wouldn't be paying him $10 million. I think that you have to look at your overall budget. You got to make certain that you're giving the kids a chance to play, and you put a value on what he is. But I would think he's going to be around the $4 million range if he came back here. I think they got to use the money in other places.
What do you do when you've got somebody that's been really good to the organization you like a lot, and you've got to have that conversation with them when you're the general manager that says either we're parting ways or we can't pay you what we've been paying you?
Well, just what you said. First of all, the only time I ever wanted a player on his last contract was if he was going to work for the organization, because it's a declining asset and you want to get rid of it.
Who did you have? Anybody?
No, I said if I would have given anybody a job, it would have been I did to Goldsworthy and Precy.
Yeah.
They both worked for me. Oliver worked for me. People that we wanted. But on the last contract that I had, if I was still managing, Broughton continued to play. But a guy like Neil Broughton, I would have brought him in the organization. A guy like Bobby Smith, I would have brought in the organization.
They did have at Oliva. They cut his salary when he started having trouble with his knees.
Yeah.
So it'll be a competition situation. But now they go down to Tampa, and Tampa's like them. You never know what they're going to do.
I'll tell you, watch them play the New York Yankees, though. That's something, isn't it? I mean, they just can't beat. It doesn't matter who's got the pinstripes on.
Yeah, but then they beat Baltimore all 7
4
games.
straight, yeah. I mean, it's just, but it's the craziest thing.
That's what happens in sports.
They got them down by 3.
The truth
Here
is,
comes A-Rod.
Yeah.
Truth of the matter, they could have won all 3 Yankee games.
I know, but that's the difference.
The bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference. Take a break, come back, finish up this edition of the Sports.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins. Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. For details, go to TicketKingOnline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
You're watching CW-23.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Beacon Bank, responsive, reliable, reassuring. Live the American dream with Bob Weiss and Beacon Bank. Welcome back to the Sports Show. Look who just showed up for the end. You got a scoop?
My scoop is Torrey Hunter doesn't want to be back here because he knows he doesn't have room to play because of the 3 young outfielders, and he wants to play next year. And he's going to leave, but with no hard feelings.
There you go. He wouldn't have had that confirmed, and we wouldn't even have that. Thank you, Patrick, for doing that.
He knows that Hicks deserves to play,
Yep.
Buxton's going to deserve to play, and Rosario's going to deserve to play, and he wants to play, but it probably won't be here.
Louis, the Wild, funny, they got some bad press on their assistant coach. They haven't had much of this in their career.
No, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's unfortunate. It was not a good thing, and I'm sure that they're right now in a quandary as how to proceed.
We're just happy Patrick's back with us.
Yes.
Because he wanted to get back for the Sid on
Sid.
Yeah, Sid?
The Gophers will sell out the TCU game.
Oh, God almighty,
They
I
have
hope
about
so.
less than 1,000 tickets left. It's the first sellout in many years. And I think that crowd will play a nice part. But TCU has a quarterback who was the leading candidate for the Heisman Award, so it'll be very tough to win. But I think they might score an upset.
Patrick's back. Good to see you. See you next week, everybody.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.